I just got these knobs off. They were really hard to get off, but they're full metal with just plastic inserts in them. Very nice, high quality knobs, probably brass coated with chrome. I've just gotten the screws out of this panel. You want to see what's going on, and there we are. We have so we've got shielded interconnecting wires between the pots and the switch and the output jack. I don't really see the need to want to change those pots. I have a pearl that I would like to switch this out for. Let's just see what happens here. I think I have a chance of converting that. So I like my chances. I'll need to cut out a little nick there for the truss rod for sure. I also have this bridge. This is a metal ore branded bridge. It exactly matches the position. Comes with a little paper underneath there so you don't scratch up your bridge before you start using it. What I noticed is that the screw holes in here are way bigger than the screws, and when you put the screw down in there, it can move around. I grabbed my magnifying glass. Oh, the capacitor is a 223, so it's a 22 mic. Alright, I'm not going to change it. It's going to stay as is. Let's see. That's 500. Oh yeah, it says A500 on that. I was kind of thinking that should be an A250 for single coils. Let's see if I can measure the pickup. So we've got black, white. Black, white is the neck. What position is that in? There we go. $5.25K. Go to the neck. Should be black red. $6.60. So they've got similar values. I wanted to start with the nut to clean that up if it's the bone, or change it out if it's not. So this is a bone nut, and it files just like bone, and it's coming down quite well. I've taped up for protection, because slipping is always going to happen. Okay, the nut is down. and it looks much better than it did before. So next step, straighten the fretboard and check for unleveled frets. My neck has had all night to adjust to the straightness, and it's extremely surprising to me this morning that with these beautiful stainless steel frets, that very first one is rocking on that end, in the middle, down at this end. It's a little better up here, not as bad. Especially where they left the flat ends. I got some rock in there. The feel of the file on the fret is just like the nickel copper. No difference. And here we go. Beautiful. Even more beautiful than when they came. A little more glisten to them. And the neck is ready. The next thing I'm going to do is sink that pickup in there and remove this pick guard. Let's see what I can do about installing pearl white. Oh no, here it comes. There we go. Alright. There go the springs. So it is more green in person than it looks like in the pictures. I don't know about this neck pickup. Huge ceramic magnet on the bottom of it. Quite strong for a ceramic. So very first thing is that the pickup screws for the neck don't fit in the pearl white. So we're off to a good start, and we'll have to go and open up those holes. Okay, holes opened up, and then the second part of it is that the holes in the pearl are a little bit wider than the holes in the mint. But I wanted to just map it to see how many of the holes would line up. Alright, so let's see if I match that hole and that hole. That should be about where I need to do the cutout on this pickguard. So what I did now was I put screws into these holes that do line up so that I could mark out with my marker exactly where I need to cut, but just outside of those lines to be able to get the at least the size that's cut in the green one. So I'm going to be using my Dremel tool to start that little work. Okay, this is matched up pretty nicely. And it looks like it's a go. Something is obstructing. I'm not sure what it is yet. Oh, guys and gals, look at that. Just like it was made for it. Beauty. Because a couple of the holes are just off the side of the bottom, or I need to go in, I don't want the screws to try to go in crooked. So this is the toothpick trick. Got a wooden toothpick, dip it in with glue to a degree. Of course, check the depth of your holes before you cut it off and mark it with your marker. Twist it, get the wood glue down in the holes, bob it up and down until finally you seat it over the top, like that. And that will allow you to make a hole that the screw will go straight down into. And then just wipe off this excess with water, because that stuff's water soluble. I'm going to let those set up overnight, and I'm not going to drill those holes out and mount that guard until tomorrow after they've set. And now what I'm going to do is work on getting this bridge out and transferring the pickup onto my 6-saddle bridge. And you just cut off, you know, just with a pair of cutters, just standard cutters. And if it's a little bit jagged, just run it on a file, smooth it off top and bottom, so that when it goes down in the hole, like you measure the hole. I mean, see, I was going to do that one. Stick it down in the hole, right to the bottom, mark it with a marker, right? Pull it out, take your cutters and cut it off just the other side of the line to make sure that it's going to go flush or slightly below the surface. Get the glue all around it, get the glue down in the hole as you're twisting it in. Boom, seat it in, make sure it's all good around the top. And by tomorrow, that'll be good enough to be able to drill a hole just beside that and get your screw in there, no problem. Are there any surprises under there? Nope, shouldn't be any surprises. Neck pocket is very clean. Little dirty around here. Bridge wire there. Ground wire. And yeah, not bad. So the holes for the strings are quite big. The holes to go through this plate are quite small. This is where they were hanging up. And this is also a big ceramic magnet. There you go. I'm mounting the new 6-saddle bridge, and the hole spacings for the mounting holes are very close between the original and the new metal ore bridge, but they're not exact. The two center ones are better. And so what I'm planning on doing is getting the two center ones set up, and then I will put the end ones in. That will have less effect on the alignment of the bridge. Now what I've done is I've taken bamboo, a skewer, and used it as a dowel. And I plugged the holes on the outer ends, and I'm going to drill a new pilot hole for the screw to go in there with a 1/32 screw. Just so it holds a little bit better with all of them. Put a little wax on the threads just to help them slip a little bit better, since it's a new, kind of a new hole. We kind of want the bridge to be nice and secure. So I've decided that I'm going to convert this from a 3-way switch to a 4-way, where I will be able to get these two in series. I think that'll give me an option for another tone, like I've done on all the 3 tele builds that I've done before. And today I'll have to cut this little joiner wire here that takes the ground of the case to the black wire, and add another wire from the case out through the channel, because of the way you need to do wiring for the 4-way switch. So you need 3 wires. Okay, so I'm going to add the extra wire. It's going to be lilac. Isn't that pretty? It was either this or red, and there's already red on the bridge, so I decided I had this. I might as well use it. We're going to leave it long enough, like the other ones, to be able to pull them in and out, like about that. Can always cut it off at the other end later if I need to. Magnet is grabbing my cutter, and it's up. Now it might be a little bit too long. I might have to open that wire up a little bit. That works really good. What I'm thinking is I want to have a little bit of insulation over that. Well, of course I don't have any matching lilac, so we're going to go with a piece of yellow. That should be plenty long enough. Slip it over. Now I've got to challenge this with holding it and getting solder on it at the same time. hot, hot, hot. Alright, it's on the case. Yeah, I can get that over the end to make sure it's not going to do anything along that way. Just going to turn my iron down in temperature. Let it drop, and then we're going to touch that to secure it. Okay, that's in. I'm going to put a little tie wrap on that right there. Since we're going with a myriad of colors, let's go with a green because that's a small one that I have. Just there. Not too tight, just to hold it in place. And that will create a certain amount of strain relief here. The next thing I'm going to have to work on is, I guess, drilling the hole in the cavity, which I don't know if we can see that, is right in here. Right in here where I've outlined it in black. It's very dark. Let's see if we can get some light in it. There we go. Right here in this black squared rectangled area. I need to deepen this because the Fender style switch will be deeper. My tablet died while I was getting ready to cut this little channel down in here because the charging cube failed and I ran out of power. I did nick this purple wire a little bit, but it's not through the insulation. So I did get the channel cut in there by using a brad bit, which looks like that and has sort of a flat edge on the top of it. And I only got it down a little bit in there, just a tiny bit, because between here and the back is only about a ½ an inch of wood. And then with this minuscule router bit, 1/8 inch shaft, and my freehand dremeling, I was able to just clean it off very gently, what was left over from the brad bit. Delivery of my 4-way switch arrived, and I'm going to be wiring it like this wiring diagram. And this green wire here is actually the violet wire that I've attached now, which ends up going to the ground of the case. And how you get the series on a 4-way is that the actual black wire, which normally would go here on a 3-way, goes to the bottom end of the switch so that it can end up being switched over to series or parallel. And that's the way it's going to go. And that makes it, let's say, in this position, when it's going towards the pick guard, it'll be neck, it'll be neck series, neck parallel, bridge alone. But it'll actually be like that. Okay, the switch is provisioned. Small black jumper here, which will be the ground. Small bare wire goes between these two here, and cross jumper, also a bare wire going across there. This is the neatest way I found of doing this. Doesn't take up much room, and you don't need to have another big loop of wire around here, and does a pretty good job. And like that. Okay. That should be all the connections. I had to fight with the positioning of those wires to be able to get the panel on straight. But I got them in. Now, because of this violet wire, it's a little bit more rigid than the rest of the wires, and it's caused a little bit of tension in there, but I fixed it. Now, here's the trick. I've got to get this back mounted on here. Alright, let's see how we do. Drop that in. Oof. That wire is giving me trouble over there. Boom. Look at that. Now, anybody else want to see what's going on with the jack? I do. The tap test worked. Oh, look at that. It's got an Epiphone Jack, which is basically a copy of a Switchcraft. The only issue I'm having with it is that the way they've mounted it, the mouth is too far up, and when you're trying to put your plug in there, instead of it being able to go in this groove and find its way down into the hole, you got to hunt around with it, and that can lead to scratching stuff up. So I'm going to loosen that up and probably see what I can do about adding maybe another washer on the back of it, maybe two, to try to solve that problem. There we go. And here we are at the end for the reveal. White pickguard, 4-way switch, 6-saddle bridge, and the rest remains the same. Pickups I did not change yet. And we'll see how it goes. So, we're still back on the 65 Deluxe where we were at the beginning of all of this saga. That's taken me a couple of days. Alright, no tone, full volume. Bridge. What I did when I was in there is I had a spare ceramic magnet I recovered off of another pickup I threw out. And I kept the magnet and I doubled it up on the back of this bridge. And I think it's helped to warm it up a little bit. Than it was before, in my opinion. This is being recorded from the amp, which is just there off to my side about 3 feet, directly into the tablet camera in front of me. Open air, not going through the computer. Okay, and this is going to be position 3, as they say. That's 4, or 1, 2 or 3. That's the parallel. Series, little boost. Neck alone. And that's it. The EART is finished for now. On the front, it's a little bit of a blue greenish tint in it. See a little bit of green in there. On the back, it's much darker, I noticed when I was polishing it. See that polish? Look at that shine. Beautiful. Beautiful blue. And that's it, guys. Another project. And another new guitar in the livery. I do love the white. See you next time.